clay pit run. Probably the shortest part of the trail on the hike. Alright, now I'm beginning the Laurel Ridge section. And this is where the big part of the loop begins. Now doing the overlook part. It's pretty overgrown. The overlook was closed, so I know it loops. You see a little bit of the Navasink, not the best overlook. It's kind of disappointed. Remember this from a few years ago. I didn't think really much would change, but oh well, I added more steps into my hike. I'm back on the Laurel Ridge main trail. Alright, let's see how this goes. I'm starting to see some ice on the ground. So it's definitely starting to feel like late fall, early winter. Okay, so I feel like we're about to get some better views over here at the Navasink. Yeah, for sure. Okay, we'll see. I'll watch my step. Okay, now I am on Grand Tour, and I should be coming up again on this trail towards the end, if everything goes as planned. It looks like some areas are closed due to restoration and preparation for the deer hunt in December, but we'll see. So over this way is the maintenance trail. It brings you out to like a cabin. I don't think it's in use anymore. I think it's back in the day when like the park rangers actually lived here. But I just wanted to double check that wasn't where the Grand Tour met again, because it makes like a couple loops, so I just want to make sure I was going in the right direction. And I've passed a lot of cyclists, which is very common here. A lot of cross-country runners, a lot of cyclists. I think at this portion of the trail you can't horseback ride anymore. I think it's more the clay pit section. I can't talk today. It's really cold. So this is where it gets a little bit confusing. Like there's a loop right here, and this is where Grand Tour loops and then like loops back in on itself. I mean, technically I can go that way and I'll still loop back to the point where, you know, like all the nice lookouts are, but I want to make sure I get like as many miles in as possible, so I'm going to go this way. So this is where I was talking about how it loops in again on itself. It's Grand Tour. This is Grand Tour, and I'm pretty sure that this is still Grand Tour. So I'm gonna take out my map and just make sure I'm going the right way. So I am road walking now. I followed the trail and then it ended, and I was like, okay, well this makes absolutely no sense. And then a woman just happened to be walking by with her dog, and I was like, hey, like, which way is the Grand Tour? And she was like, yeah, the maps are terrible. She was like, you are going the right way according to the map, but it's incorrect. She said I have to walk all the way up the hill and make a left onto the gravel road. So that's what I'm doing. So this is what I remember. I've been on this trail before. This brings me back into Hartshorne. The good thing about this trail is if I were to ever get lost, I have so many friends and family who live in this area that could group me up in like 20 minutes. And there's like, it runs like behind so many houses too that like, if there is an emergency, I can just run to someone's backyard. But yeah, no, this all makes sense now. I haven't done this portion in probably like 3 or 4 years, so just gotta turn down around a little bit. And I finally made it to my favorite part of the trail, Rocky Point. And this is probably where it's the hilliest, aside from the Cuesta Ridge portion. So I know this area like the back of my hand, and I used to say that to everyone, and then I recently looked in the map and I saw that there was a lighthouse link trail, and I never knew that there was a footpath. It must be new though, because all the old maps still don't show it. So I'm making pretty good time. I feel really good. I'll see how I feel after like the really hilly parts, and if I feel good, I actually might add this onto the hike because I'm just genuinely very curious. Right? And Rocky Point is the more popular trail. So Hartshorne's broken into 3 different parks. There's a Laurel Ridge, Clay Pit Creek, and then Rocky Point. So I'm starting to expect to see a lot more people. When I was at Clay Pit, there was a bunch of people doing like shorter hikes there. And then when I got to Laurel Ridge, I saw mostly mountain bikers. Saw a group of cross-country runners, and then just a few single hikers like me. So, yeah. Now, these were the views I was talking about. I love it in the fall and winter because like there's a lot of nice things you can actually see. See the bridge back there, little islands. It's very steep. There's a little beach down there. Yeah, this is still Rocky Point. This is just an overlook loop. So that was my unofficial halfway point. Alright, I'm out of breath now. Here we're starting to get more views of the Atlantic Ocean and now the Single River. So, yeah, I wish that looked, at the very beginning it looked like this. But, yeah, it's very pretty. So I just finished Rocky Point. And now I gotta get to Cuesta Ridge. But I'm looking right here at the lighthouse link. Pretty curious about that. Sun goes down around like 4:30. That means I have until 2:30. I feel like it's kind of too dark for hiking wise, but you know, let me check this out. I'm curious. I decided not to do the lighthouse link trail actually. It doesn't say how long it is on the map, the new map, and at one point I think you have to road walk and then you get to the state park, and I'm not really like trying to figure out how to do that. And I don't know, I mean I could add like a whole another mile and a half one way, and that's what, 32 to 3 miles I'm adding on, so I'm not gonna do it. So I am on the Cuesta Ridge trail now. I think I called it the Laurel Ridge Park before. It's actually Buttermilk Valley Park. So yeah. Alright, and I'm sort of on the home stretch now. There's like a wavy part that breaks off of the Cuesta Ridge that turned into the Grand Tour again, and I think I've done it once. It's been a really long time if I had done it, so that's what I'm adding on today. It's very hard for me to talk. My face is really cold, so. So I just passed it before, but there was like a side trail that brings you back to the Grand Tour. So that just kind of just shows you how loopy it is, and there's like it's basically multiple trails, and I don't know why they call the whole thing the Grand Tour Trail, but they do. And then there's a road called Grand Tour that like runs in the middle of it. So I don't know, I feel like they should name it something different. So this is the Grand Tour intersection, and this is what I'm gonna do right now. Alright, wish me luck. So through there, I can actually see Sandy Hook. So that's the Raritan Bay and the Atlantic Ocean. And then past these apartment buildings, you can probably get a good view of New York City. So it's pretty cool. That's why I love this park. So we hit the Grand Tour Laurel Ridge section. And then should be back on, yes, Cuesta Ridge. Okay. Mount area. And I made it back to Laurel Ridge, and it's gonna bring me back to Clay Pit Run. So I'm leaving the Buttermilk Valley portion of the park. I'm leaving Laurel Ridge, going to the Clay Pit Run. This is where the very beginning of my hike started, and this is the fork I came into the road. So I'm getting close to my TV. This is usually a lot more swampy, but we've been in a pretty significant drought, even though we really did get rain last week, but still very much in a drought. So I basically made it back to the parking lot. Obviously my car from here. But I don't want my hike to end, and I kind of want to get to the waterfront over here on the rest of the Clay Pit Run Trail. So, yeah, that's all. Did a pretty good time today. It was between 19 and 21 minute miles, and it's 1:30, so my sunlight's still good, so I'm gonna just finish up strong with this one. And so I made it. Sink River. And my hike is officially done. Well, when I get to that little thing over there, it's done, but I'm done. So it's probably a little bit confusing what I did, but I started here, I did Clay Pit Run, and then I went all the way here, down here. Oh, well, I did the overlook, and then I also went all the way down here. And then I went all the way down to Grand Tour, and I went here, and then I went all the way down here, and then I went down this way. And this is kind of over here where it kind of was like a cluster, and like I had to go on the road. And then I went down to the Rocky Point. I did the outlook over here. Rocky Point, went all the way here, and I did the pier overlook over here, went all the way down here. I did not do that overlook. I kind of forgot that there was one over there. And then I went all the way up here, and then I did like 50 meters of the lighthouse link, and I just did not feel comfortable doing that. I didn't know how long it was going to be, and I kind of was starting to hurt a little bit. And then I went to the Cuesta Ridge, all the way over here. And then I went up here and did the Grand Tour again. Went back down. And then I went all the way back here, down here. And then I looped all the way down to the waterfront. And now I'm back at my car. So that's an explanation of everything I did.